The diesel engine became one of the most important inventions in modern history. It helped power global trade, transportation, manufacturing, and industrial growth. But behind the invention was a man whose story ended in mystery. In this episode, we break down the life of Rudolf Diesel, how his invention transformed the world, and why some people still question what really happened to him in 1913. Before we get into the video, please subscribe to support the channel, like the video, comment your thoughts, and hit the bell for post notifications. Rudolf Diesel was born in 1858 in Paris, France, to German parents. The world he entered was changing rapidly. Factories were expanding, railroads were spreading, industrialization was reshaping economies. This was the height of the Industrial Revolution. Machines were becoming the center of production, and energy was becoming power. As a child, Diesel showed signs of extreme intelligence early. Engineering fascinated him, mechanics fascinated him, efficiency fascinated him. But what separated Diesel from many inventors was that he wasn't only thinking about machines, he was thinking about systems. Who controlled energy? Who controlled industry? Who benefited from inefficient technology? At the time, large steam engines dominated factories and transportation, but they wasted enormous amounts of energy. A huge percentage of fuel burned never became useful power. To Diesel, that wasn't just inefficient, it was unacceptable. During the late 1800s, steam engines powered much of the industrial world. Factories, ships, manufacturing, transportation. But steam engines had major weaknesses. They were massive, heavy, expensive to operate, and inefficient. Huge amounts of fuel were wasted just generating heat. This mattered because fuel meant money. The more fuel burned, the more expensive industrial production became. Diesel believed there had to be a better way. He wanted to create an engine that used less fuel, but produced more usable power. And his vision went deeper than engineering. He believed efficient engines could decentralize economic power. If smaller businesses and independent operators had access to efficient machinery, they could compete more effectively against giant industrial systems. That idea mattered to him. This wasn't only about invention, it was about changing who had access to power. In the 1890s, Diesel began developing what would become the diesel engine. The concept was different from gasoline engines. Instead of using spark plugs, Diesel's engine used compression ignition. Here's the simple version. Air inside the cylinder is compressed so tightly that it becomes extremely hot. Then fuel is injected, and because of the heat from compression, the fuel ignites automatically. No spark plug needed. This mattered for several reasons. First, efficiency. Diesel engines extracted more usable energy from fuel. Second, torque and power. Diesel engines performed especially well for heavy-duty work. Third, fuel flexibility. Early diesel engines could even run on alternative fuels like vegetable oils. Diesel himself believed farmers and independent producers could potentially create their own fuel sources. That idea was revolutionary for the time, and dangerous to certain industries depending on centralized fuel systems. The diesel engine didn't just become successful, it became foundational. Trucks, ships, trains, factories, generators, industrial equipment, global logistics, entire supply chains eventually relied on diesel power. Imagine modern trade without cargo ships, without long-haul trucking, without industrial freight movement. The global economy would look completely different. Diesel engines helped reduce transportation costs, increase efficiency, expand industrial production, and accelerate global trade. The invention became one of the hidden systems behind modern civilization itself. Most people never think about it, but almost everything around them was likely transported at some point using diesel power. Food, building materials, Products, fuel, machinery, Diesel's invention quietly became one of the engines behind globalization. As diesel technology spread, Rudolf Diesel became wealthy and internationally known, but success didn't remove pressure. In many ways, it increased it. There were financial problems, investor pressure, competition, industrial politics, and growing strategic interest in engine technology. At the same time, some of Diesel's broader ideas about fuel flexibility and decentralization created tension with powerful industries. The more valuable the technology became, the more complicated his position became. And by the early 1900s, the world itself was becoming more unstable. Europe was moving closer to war. Industrial power mattered more than ever, and efficient engine technology had enormous strategic value. In September 1913, Rudolf Diesel boarded a ship traveling from Belgium to England. He reportedly ate dinner with other passengers, spoke normally, then retired to his cabin. The next morning, he was gone. No witnesses, no confirmed explanation. His bed appeared untouched. His clothes were folded neatly, and he was nowhere on the ship. Days later, a body believed to be his was reportedly found in the water. But even then, questions remained. What actually happened that night? Several theories emerged. The first, accident. Perhaps Diesel accidentally fell overboard during the night. Ships at that time were dangerous environments, especially in darkness and rough weather. The second theory, suicide. Some reports suggested Diesel was under financial stress, possibly overwhelmed, possibly exhausted, and some believe he intentionally ended his life. But then came the third theory, assassination. And this is where the mystery became larger than one man. By 1913, Europe was approaching World War I. Military technology mattered, fuel technology mattered, industrial transportation mattered, and diesel engines had enormous strategic value for naval and industrial power. Rumors began spreading that Diesel may have been silenced before certain business or military deals could happen. Was there evidence? Not enough to prove it, but enough mystery to keep the theories alive for more than a century. And because the case was never fully solved, people still debate it today. Rudolf Diesel disappeared, but his invention didn't. Today, diesel engines still power huge parts of the global economy: freight systems, construction, agriculture, transportation, heavy industry. Even as technology changes, the influence of the diesel engine remains massive, and in many ways, Diesel's invention became bigger than the man himself. That's what makes the story powerful. One invention, one engineer, and an idea that reshaped the modern world. Rudolf Diesel built one of the most important engines in human history, an invention that powered trade, transportation, and industrial growth across the planet. But while his engine helped move the modern world forward, his own story ended in mystery. And more than 100 years later, people are still asking the same question. Did Rudolf Diesel simply disappear by accident? Or was something bigger happening behind the scenes? If this helped you think differently, like the video, comment your thoughts below, and subscribe for more life, money, and everyday simple sense.